Welcome and greetings, career-minded superstars. You are listening to the exclusive Career Coach, your podcast for all things career. And I'm Lisa Edwards, the indispensable career coach for superstars just like you. Now let's dig into this week's topic, shall we? Go from dragging yourself to work each day to finding a job you love. The Career Spring program is for high-achieving and ambitious mid-level professionals like you who are looking for a job that uses your zone of genius, recognizes your value, and pays you what you're worth. If you're ready to learn more, schedule a complimentary consult using the link to my calendar in the show notes. Be sure to follow me on Exclusive Career Coaching on Facebook, Lisa Edwards on LinkedIn, and Lisa.Edwards on Instagram.
Greetings. Happy Wednesday if you're listening to this on the day it comes out. Happy whatever day it is that you're listening to this. As a reminder, if you are a mid-career high achiever and want to get into the C-suite, I'd love to speak with you about my new coaching program, Highly Promotable. There is a link in the show notes to learn more about it. And when you go on that site, you can also schedule a call with me to get the ball rolling. Today, we're talking about how employers are using AI, artificial intelligence, in job interviews and what that means for you, how to prepare for them. AI is being used in the interview process via natural language processing, NLP, chatbots, sentiment analysis, facial expression recognition, and visual perception, speech recognition, tone analysis, and decision making. So a lot of stuff. And the thought process, and I'm not saying whether I agree with it or not, I don't pretend to know that much about AI in job interviews, but the supposition is that the AI in those initial phases of the interview can take out bias, can take out just human tendencies for, preferences of things, overlooking certain things, and it can be much more objective than a human can. I want to start with some definitions here. So AI is computer systems that can perform tasks that would normally require human intelligence. Artificial intelligence trained video interviewing technology analyzes, I have to kind of read this, I apologize, because it's a mouthful. Artificial intelligence trained video interviewing technology analyzes facial features, moods, expressions, and intonations of the interviewees to select the most suitable candidates. Speech recognition, personality insights, tone analysis, the relevance of answers, emotional recognition, and psycholinguistics are used in this hiring process that uses technology automation. The best matches are shared with human recruiters along with AI's own notes on individual candidates. So this is not intended to be the be-all and end-all that they use throughout the whole process and you never meet a human. If you can imagine, not only is that not a good idea from the company's perspective, but would you really want to go sign on with a company that you'd never actually met a human at? But it does serve its purpose in those early phases as they try to cull the list of candidates. So if you think of it as kind of being the companion to the applicant tracking system that is helping to identify the right candidates based on their resumes, the AI is doing that based on the things that I just talked about. Next, we have chatbots, an artificial feature that is short for chatterbox. A chatbox is a software or program that simulates human conversations through voice commands and text chats. So chatbots are being used for answering those initial questions that applicants may have and to conduct also those kind of preliminary screening interviews. And you may get immediate feedback from a chatbot as well. So when you think about, you have applied and you've, said maybe you get a message from a chatbot that says we've received it, or maybe you send in a question and it may be a chatbot that is initially answering that question. Then we have the natural language processing, NLP, the interaction between humans and computers using natural language. AI's machine learning skills derive meaning and understanding from language as it is spoken by humans. The most common uses of NLP in the job search process include the chatbots we just talked about, personal assistants like Siri and Alexa, predictive text, we all have experience with that, and language translation. Now, what AI tools are available to employers? There are at least 4 categories of tools. So first we have the video conferencing tools. So if you think of Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, anything where they can conduct the interview via picture, via your computer, you can conduct a remote job interview that way. Then we have AI-powered interview platforms, and some names of those are HireVue, Pymetrics, Maya Systems. They all use AI technology to conduct interviews. And they're going to use that natural language processing and machine learning algorithms to analyze candidates' responses, assess their skills, provide insights to employers. Again, doing it in a very objective way that humans may be incapable of doing. Next, we have online assessment platforms, and some of these are Talent, Scored, eSkill, Code and Game, and these offer assessments and testing and coding challenges specifically designed for evaluating candidates' AI knowledge, your problem-solving abilities, and programming skills. So there are those that are available kind of no matter what you're applying for, and then there are those that are specific for coders and tech folks. And then finally, we have coding platforms. So as I mentioned, you've got the general ones, but then you've got some specific HackerRank, Codility, I think I'm saying that right, LeetCode. And these are for those technical positions. So they may have you write and execute code, solve coding problems, and assess your programming skills. So again, it's just a skills assessment. And I believe that AI will continue to develop in this area of assessing skill. So, I think the tech world kind of is an obvious place to start because it is very concrete, whether you have that skill or you don't. And because it's technical and it's techies that are creating these things, it's a nice logical place to start. But I think we will see a cascade effect of assessments around other types of skills that would be needed for other occupations. All right, so let's get to the how you should prepare for an AI interview. Now, I want to quote, this is from Talview.com's website. Candidates should prepare for an AI video interview the same way they would for a face-to-face interview. They must know everything there is to know about the company beforehand, look up the company website, Google News, press releases, and understand what the company and the industry are all about. Candidates can also make a list of questions that they would like to ask their prospective employer. Practice makes perfect when it comes to AI video interviews. Candidates can make a list of expected questions and practice their answers. Once the video interview begins, candidates will not be able to stop, erase, or edit the interview and must therefore be prepared well in advance. Of course, I want you well prepared for all interviews. There's just a few extra steps, a few little variations on how you prepare for an AI interview. Going back to the quote from Talview, on the day of the interview, candidates must dress professionally, position themselves in a straight back chair, and make sure the camera angle focuses waist up, right? So again, what you want to dress professionally, regardless of whether even if you're on a phone interview, I want you to dress as if they were seeing you because it does affect how you show up. Going back again to the quote, although an AI video interview is recorded, it is for all purposes conducted just as a face-to-face interview would. So candidates should sell their candidacy based on the company's needs and let the employer know how they will meaningfully contribute to their organization. Finally, candidates are asked to keep calm and exude confidence throughout their body language. So what's the difference here? What is the difference in how you should prepare for an AI interview? And I'm going to argue that other than making sure the camera's in the right angle and that your technology is working, it's exactly what you should do if you're preparing for an in-person interview. That over-preparation, the professional dress and appearance, the preparation with your questions, all of that. So here's the bottom line. There's nothing new that an AI interview does. It asks the same questions a human interviewer would, but there is that deep analysis that goes into an interview that is beyond human undertaking. Now, should that change how you approach it? No. If you are fully prepared for an in-person interview, you should be fully prepared for an AI interview. And if you've got that dialogue going on in your head about what do they think about what I just said, it will foil your efforts to be successful in that interview. You just have to stay focused on the question and your answer and not have that voice inside your head going, what do they think of that? What will they say about that? The speed, accuracy, and convenience of AI recruitment and AI video interviewing are very valuable. It's impossible that AI interviews will grow off the grid. If anything, we're going to see an increase in their use. And I think that's a fair statement. So I sort of apologize for having to read so much of this one to you, but I thought it was important to get the language and the terminology correct and give you those quotes from the experts out there. So DIY versus DFY today. I want to combine those two. If you want to improve your interview skills on your own, whether it's for an AI interview or an in-person, the site that I recommend is Yoodli. It's Yoodli, and that's a free site that allows you to respond either to preset questions from the interviewer, from the system, or you can put your own questions in there. Yoodli will help you with things like eye contact, use of filler words, and other vocal disruptors. So you're going to get a really good sense of how is my vocal presentation, how are my mannerisms, my eye contact, and that kind of thing. Now, if you want human help, for example, the coaching program that I offer, we do 2 one-hour coaching sessions and also work with Yoodli. So I give you some pre-assignments so that I can see what your baseline is on your strengths and weaknesses. And then we can strategize on questions that make the most sense to move you forward. And then you'll have homework between the first and second session, again, going back to Yoodli on the questions that challenged you so that you can use the strategies we develop in that first session. Now, what we're going to be working on and I can't speak for other interview coaches, but what I work on with my clients are those difficult and behavioral questions. So things like, what is your greatest weakness? Tell me about yourself. Tell me about a time when. So any behavioral questions start with, describe a situation. Tell me about a time then. I'm not going to be asking you technical questions. And here's why. Number one, I don't know, I won't be able to evaluate your answer. I won't be able to assess whether that's a good response. Secondly, technical questions you're going to either know the answer or you're not. If they're going to set up a scenario and say, how would you handle this as a marketing executive or as an operations executive, whatever your job is, you either know that or you don't. And those are not the most difficult questions in an interview. It is those behavioral questions, the tell me about yourself, the where do you see yourself in 5 years? Those are the questions that people are most stymied by, and that's the help that I would provide. So if you're interested in learning more about my coaching program, the 2-session coaching program that uses Yoodli in addition to working one-on-one with me for 2 sessions, shoot me an email or reach out to me via my website, exclusivecareercoaching.com, and you can set up a complimentary consult and we'll get the ball rolling. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you next week. Take care.
You've been listening to The Exclusive Career Coach with Lisa Edwards, CEO of Exclusive Career Coaching. It would be great if you would rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Also, I want to be your career coach, so be sure to ask questions about your career management challenges and job search situation. Until next time.